Welcome to NAGLREP Success, a podcast series featuring the talents of LGBT real estate agents and allies who inspire the LGBT community. I'm your host, David Cerroti. We often think in terms of the real estate sales process as find a home, credit scores, and mortgages. But the importance of the home inspection process is one largely unknown by the consumer population. But that definitely shouldn't be the case. We are thrilled today to welcome one of the great personalities in all of real estate, Dan Steward, the CEO of Pillar to Post, the largest home inspection firm in the nation. Thanks for taking time to talk to us today, Dan.
Hey, David. Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here.
Well, it's so fascinating to me that when you look at home inspection, it is definitely not one of the sexiest topics in real estate, but where would you put it as far as importance in the entire home buying and selling process?
So, David, in our life, home inspection is the sexiest topic in real estate. So, just so we're aligned there. But I totally get your mind. You know what? Real estate and is focused on helping people buy and sell their home. And yes, people do it for investment and vacation, but most people engage with the real estate profession and community to live. They're going to raise their kids, raise their family, grow old together, whatever it is that's causing them to want to be in that home. And the real estate agent and all of that team are core to that, just as is having a great home inspection. So it really is integral to all of us coming together to help that buyer or seller reach their goals in why they are after or selling that house. So it is integral, and it is damn sexy, David.
Oh, I probably shouldn't have said that with the CEO of Pillar to Post on the phone. Why do you think, Dan, it's almost a misunderstood part of the process? How did that happen?
That's a great question, and I'll offer you sort of two theories. One is home inspection has grown. The whole industry is really only about 35 years old. So it came to the real estate process much later than the concept of real estate agents and others. And it had very humble beginnings in people calling somebody who might have been a retired builder, or you called your Uncle Bob, somebody to come and have a look at the home that you were about to buy because you just wanted a second opinion about the home. So it started in a very craftsman type of way. It wasn't until kind of the 1980s and well into the 1980s that it started to get some organization around it, meaning standards of practice, education, some qualification of inspectors. And so it has certainly moved forward at good speed since that time. So the other reason is home inspection is still largely a craft business. Many of the people practicing home inspection are independent home inspectors operating as themselves. By my estimation, 80 to 85% of the market is served by independent sole practitioner home inspectors. And the organized home inspection part, as in franchise systems like ours or some corporate entities, are continuing to grow and bring brand and different standards of practice to the market. So I think its humble beginnings and its highly fragmented nature currently do cause some misunderstanding because the industry hasn't been able to present a united front in the same way the National Association of Realtors has been able to, or the Mortgage Bankers Association, or other parts of the real estate process and the professionals who are involved in them. Make no mistake, however, that it is a very professional industry. Again, in my opinion, and all the people I know who are active in home inspection, be they in Pillar to Post or some of the other organized brands, go out intending to do very good work and have that professionalism that they want to help their clients, they want to help their realtors, and make the whole real estate transaction a good one.
Is it a symbiotic relationship, or do you feel that we still have a ways to go for both sides to understand the role of each group?
You know what? I think the realtors who we deal with, I believe, have a very good understanding of the importance of home inspection. Perhaps that might have been different 10 years ago or so, but no good realtor wants to sell a house to their client who is going to come back to them 3 months after they move angry at them because something was not as it was represented as being. So again, we see with busy professional realtors, they are universal almost in wanting a home inspection to be done. It protects their client, obviously, but it also protects them. There's lots of things that cannot be seen without a wise eye or a trained eye. And as much as realtors are professionals at what they do, they're not experts in building science and what goes on in structures and systems and components of a house. And so we are very, symbiotic in that sense of both of us are looking to serve the client that the real estate agent is in front of, who is buying or selling that home. And as I say, many years ago there might have been concern that the home inspector would screw up a deal. And I think we've come a long way from that, seeing it as a professional element of doing good service for our clients in the real estate industry overall.
What are some of the other changes that you've seen in the home inspection industry over, let's say, 5-10 years?
Yeah, like real estate, there's been lots of changes, and they really center, I think, around 3 areas. Number one is our clients, being the home buyers, are more knowledgeable, but they're also wanting more information. So as we see, millennials as first-time home buyers, they know they want more information. They're also studied. They're coming in prepared in the process of buying a home. But it is very common for us in a home inspection with a first-time buyer to spend almost as much time teaching and instructing and explaining as we do doing the home inspection. The second piece that has changed is, I would call it concern for more aspects of the home. Today, people are concerned about a healthy living environment, a safe living environment. And it's not to say they weren't before, but in the early days of home inspection, it had a lot of focus on structure and systems. Is the foundation sound? Is the roof okay? Is the electrical okay? Is the heating, venting, and air conditioning system okay? And we have certainly seen that expand now. People are concerned about environmental contaminants such as radon and mold, or even concerns whether meth was ever cooked in the house. Concern about ancillary aspects of the home, septic systems, well water, other things that have been added to the home in the form of pools and spas and sprinkler systems. So it's a much more comprehensive look at the home that customers are looking for. And the third area that's changed is the use of a variety of different technologies. So I can tell you in the early days of Pillar to Post, home inspection reports were written on 3-part carbonless NCR forms. And one of the beauties is that at least it had a structure and a flow to it. The bad thing was, of course, you still had to decipher the inspector's handwriting. That changed substantially when Pillar to Post introduced computerized home inspection reports for the first time in North America, and has continued to evolve to the kind of technology that we use today that puts in color photos, that inserts annotated photos so you can put comments on them. We print and present the report on site at the time of the inspection. We still give a digital copy to the customer, but in terms of using technology to give people information while they're still at the site matters a great deal, especially for a realtor. You're trying to make the transaction move along. We're able to sit with their client at the end of the inspection. The inspection's already been printed out. It's in a beautiful Pillar to Post binder. We're able to go through it and show the buyer the highlights of the home inspection to show them the details if they want. So we could get to a photo that shows that perhaps there's spalled brick outside the house. And they say, well, what does that mean? Well, we're able, because we're still on the property, to take them, go outside, look at that spalled brick directly right there on the site, answer their questions about it, and give them peace of mind. So it makes the whole transaction go a whole lot smoother, because it's not just about the inspection report, but it's about the whole inspection and communication experience. In part with that is our use of things like infrared thermography to be able to indicate if there's perhaps concern about do-it-yourself wiring, where you find circuits in the electrical box overloaded. Visually, that's very difficult to tell. By putting load on that circuit and using infrared thermography, you can now see that some of those circuits are overloaded. We can also use it to see if there's been problems in perhaps some of the outlets or switches. We can also use infrared thermography to potentially see moisture issues before they become big problems, meaning everybody knows what a water stain looks like if you're on the ground floor and you're looking up and you see a watermark on the ceiling above because there's a bathtub up there that's had a leaky drain. But we can now use infrared thermography and see perhaps if there's traces of water that are showing a color difference long before a stain occurs. And that just helps get ahead of problems before they become expensive problems. Other areas of technology allow us to look at indoor air quality and other contaminants that are in the house. So the use of technology has come a long way. You know, perhaps one of the other areas that's crept in for us and is very popular with our clients and realtors is the ability to take the make and model of built-in appliances in the home and run it through a database to give the buyer feedback whether that appliance has ever been recalled through a safety recall check. It does a couple of things. A, it gives peace of mind if there hasn't been any recalls. B, if there has been recalls, then it will likely get them a free repair or even a free replacement, depending on what the reason of the recall. So the idea of data and imaging and other testing has made a big difference in how technology is used in home inspection over as little as 5 years ago.
Infrared thermography.
See, I thought it was sexy.
I know. I'm amazed. So you've been at Pillar to Post leading the organization since 2004. Did you start as a real estate person, a service industry person, a builder, or a infrared thermography expert?
None of the above. I had the good fortune of coming into Pillar to Post approximately 10 years after the founder had started it. And our group at First Service Brands became the owner of Pillar to Post, and as I say, had the good fortune to come in as the new president of the company at that time, really coming from a background in service industries. So not necessarily related to real estate, but always related to the endeavors of people to provide service to other people and obviously fulfill their wants and needs in that process. Operating on a North American basis and in businesses that, at least to my set of values, mattered a lot for people. And so I spent some of my career in construction, some of it in the hazardous waste and environmental industries, some of it in the information management industry. And I just felt that there was nothing more fundamental to the fabric of North American life than the aspect of owning a home and how important it is that people get objective information. And I don't mean all that to sound grand and glorious, but it really is true how important a home is. So for me, having the opportunity to join Pillar to Post in that role was a real privilege. And perhaps one of my advantages was that I did not come from real estate. So I could look at the industry, be it real estate or home inspection, with pretty fresh eyes, talk to thousands of realtors and hundreds of home inspectors, and learned about the industry, learned about what they liked about it, learned about the gaps in their thinking and what it could be. And that feedback from real estate agents and their clients and our own franchisees and home inspectors has been really the leading light on how we have guided Pillar to Post.
One of the things that has clearly been evident within the NAGLREP membership is the importance to the members of their partners being advocates to the LGBT community. In fact, the most recent LGBT real estate report that NAGLREP did showed that 80% of the members want their home inspector partner to be an advocate. You clearly are. What's the reasoning for Pillar to Post to be involved with NAGLREP and the LGBT community?
You know, it's probably on many fronts, but in a very personal front, fair housing matters. And the orientation to fair housing policies, fair housing practices matter to just a good society. I sit here in Toronto, perhaps one of the most diverse cities in the world on just about any dimension that you could ask about. And so have grown up with a sense of values that says diversity matters and is to be respected if we're going to have a fair and just society. I think the work that NAGLREP is doing, and by the way, we are advocates in other parts of the real estate industry which are pushing for professionalism in the industry. And we know that NAGLREP have a passion toward fair housing. We also know that they have a passion toward professionalism in the real estate industry. So those set of values align really well with ours and the kind of people that we want to do business with. And, we're thrilled to be a part of it. The policies and advocacy that NAGLREP do in Washington and elsewhere is really important, and I think is clearly, when we look over the last few months, having a big impact. For us, it's frankly just a thrill that you're a group of a size that is easy to get to know, and the personal connection is fantastic. We love what you stand for. We love the people involved, and we look forward to everybody doing good business together and growing our business and doing good work in our communities.
You did such a great job of doing a commercial for NAGLREP. I want to pause for a second and just shed some further light on the organization that is now in its 11th year. Today, there are more than 2,100 members, making it one of the nation's largest LGBT trade associations. And the benefits for membership are many. It starts with a profile on NAGLREP.com. The site receives 75,000 unique visits a month and is the leading referrer of LGBT clients. 90% of NAGLREP members close at least 1 to 3 deals per year through their membership. 8% get 4 to 6 deals a year, and 2% are closing 7 to 10 deals simply through their association with NAGLREP. Also, it provides tremendous networking opportunity, a close-knit group of members, and learning opportunities. And of course, NAGLREP provides its members with the capability to showcase leadership and the ability to address LGBT housing issues at the local, state, and national levels. Listeners can join NAGLREP at NAGLREP, NAGLREP.com. Dan, I want to go back to some of the interactions that agents will have with inspectors and ask if you have some specific tips that can help that relationship improve.
Boy, that's a great question, and in the scope of the work that we have done over 25 years in this business, and heading toward 3 million home inspections in our career, we have learned a lot. And if I were to sit with an agent and say, how do you get the best for you and your team, if you operate in a team, in working with a good inspector? Number one, it would be, understand that the agent is a source of all things for their clients. And the value that a real estate agent brings is being this expert on many things with the client at the heart of that. And the client is expecting them to bring the right people to the table. And I know some agents shy away from the idea of recommending a home inspector. 50% of our business is booked directly by a real estate agent. They care about their client having a good experience. They have evaluated us against other choices in the market. And whether it's the technology we use, the nature of the local inspector, the fact that we offer errors and omissions insurance that protect both the client as well as the referring realtor and the broker, these things all matter. So the good agents understand that Pillar to Post is here to be part of their team. And everybody is centered on that home buyer or seller to make that transaction go well for them. So number one is hold focus as a team. Number two is help the inspector know your client a little bit. If you know that they're a first-time home buyer, or if they're anxious about some particular aspect of a home, they got some horror story that the last house they lived in, the furnace blew up in the middle of the night, and it was in Wisconsin in February. Whatever you can help the home inspector understand about your client's hot buttons helps. Now, our inspector, Pillar to Post inspectors will speak to those clients, obviously, when they get on site. I guess number three is honest communication goes a long way. And we spend a great deal of time in our selection and training of franchisees and inspectors to talk about the importance of communications, as well as the technical sciences of building science and home inspection. There are many ways to talk about a defect in a house, and there is no such perfect thing in a house. So by working with the realtor and the client together, our home inspectors are able to communicate about the home in a constructive way. Largely everything can be fixed or replaced. And admittedly, there is a big difference between saying, oh man, the roof is almost worn out, it's not in good shape, versus saying the roof appears to have about 2 to 3 years of life expectancy left. So you're going to want to budget to either do some repairs or a replacement for that roof in a couple years from now. And then, of course, the client will say, well, how much is that? And we have the ability to give in sort of some national average costs in that. So we really are a source of objective information. And, working in partnership with the real estate agent, that works great. The home inspector also has a job to do the job the right way. There are, depending on which state we are in, there are laws, regulations, or industry practices that guide what we do and how we do. So our job is not to sort of go easy on the deal or artificially pass the house. There is no pass or fail. There is no perfect home. And David, there may be a home for you that says, wow, this is perfect. The same home for me may not be perfect. I don't want a fixer-upper. You want a fixer-upper. I want to move in ready to go. So different clients, different needs. So I think no one understands that better than the real estate agent. So when they embrace the Pillar to Post home inspector as part of that team, we care that the realtor is happy. We measure we measure customer satisfaction and realtor satisfaction using a third-party company that uses the Net Promoter System. And we can give the agent the feedback of how their client rated Pillar to Post in that inspection experience. So embracing it as not just a home inspection to make a transaction go through, but that both of us are building our brand so that client will refer both of us to their friends and family moving forward, that they will come back to us, the agent and the Pillar to Post home inspector, to do their next home. So that view that we're all taking both, I want to do good work today, but I'm also interested in building my brand for the long haul, just makes such a difference in the effectiveness and relationship between the real estate professional and Pillar to Post.
And you talk about franchising. If you attend a franchise show, you would see fast food restaurants, you'd see the traditional donut shops, the gyms. Our industry is used to franchises. But then you have Pillar to Post there as one of the nation's top 50 franchises. In general, what do you need to gain a franchise with Pillar to Post?
Yep. So, and thank you for that compliment. We are proud of where we stand in not just the home inspection real estate industry, but amongst the very best operators in franchising across the country. And so I'll answer your question in two ways, because there are two parts to it. The first part, and the most important part, is that you align with the Pillar to Post values. You've got the determination and the resiliency and the drive and the capacity to learn and the passion to help people, because that embraces the Pillar to Post persona. And there are lots of people who can do great technical home inspections, but they may not have the determination to own their own business, so they may not quite have the passion for serving clients. So for Pillar to Post, it's always about the person. It's the man or lady who's coming in who says, man, I love real estate, I love being around homes, I love helping people. I can learn how to do a home inspection. I can get out and learn how to build great relationships with realtors, and I can become a value-added part of the real estate community in my city. So that's one part. The second part, which is kind of the more traditional answer to a franchise question, is a Pillar to Post franchise really is your opportunity to be in business, have your own business, but not be in business by yourself. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. So the Pillar to Post system has put, over our 25 years, thousands of people into owning their own business and running it. And Pillar to Post provides the training, the technical tools, the software, the marketing, and ongoing support forever to build a great business. And whether that business is as a sole owner-operator or whether that business is operating with a 20-person team, and we have businesses between all of those. The overall cost of a franchise, we have purposefully kept it low because we're looking for good people and not per se looking to make money on the franchise fee as some other systems do. So the franchise fee is $21,900, and that includes your 2 weeks at our training campus. And then you need about another $10,000 to $15,000 on top of that for tools and marketing, and then obviously a little bit more for things like insurance and phones and just kind of business setup. So for well under $50,000, you are in business for yourself with a proven brand, a brand that is well regarded in the real estate community, and it's an awesome business. Overhead is low. 90% of our franchisees work out of their home, so they avoid the overhead of offices. We have a service that provides, as we call the moment makers, to deal with all the phone inquiries, so they don't need to invest in people to manage their phone. And you go out and build your business by building great relationships. You know, at the end of the day, our mission is to ensure confident home ownership. So every franchisee is going out with that mission of building relationships to do that using the Pillar to Post systems. And it is awesome when we are able to celebrate, people having been with us for over 20 years. We have people who have done, upwards of 50,000 home inspections in their business. And then it's also rewarding. We have new franchisee training going on today. We have 6 new franchisees in the room who are going out with all that energy and passion to start their own business and a love for being in the real estate industry in their communities. So it's a great joy for us as a franchisor to enable our franchisees to build great businesses, to have a great quality of life, and also the business they build builds wealth. So when they get to the point of retirement, their business is absolutely valuable and saleable, and we have resale businesses going on all the time as franchisees get to the point where they want to retire and move on.
Are agents eligible to become a franchisee?
Agents are, and we just have to operate with a Chinese wall that says you can own 2 businesses, your agency, and you could own a home inspection business. You're generally going to have people running one side of that. It's very awkward to operate both your real estate agent business and your home inspection business, but that too is doable as long as you make declaration to your clients. So, you might have a tough time that agents in competing brands in the city don't want to refer home inspections to you. So it's not very common.
Well, if you do have questions about Pillar to Post, you can go to franchise.pillar, Pillar, to post, T-O, post.com, and you'll see quite a bit of information along with the ability to fill out a form, and somebody will get back to you. And it may be, I think we've learned, one of the absolute sexiest guys in all of real estate, Dan.
Well, I'm glad we made some progress over the course of this interview, David, and got that established.
We definitely did. You are a ton of fun, a great guy, a huge advocate of the LGBT community and NAGLREP. We really appreciate you being with us today, Dan.
Thank you, David. I really appreciate the opportunity to connect with you and your members.
This has been NAGLREP Success. Until next time, I'm David Cerroti.